never seen a pimp with a face.
Oh, that's up.
Them cats they had hanging curls. They had more hair than the girls.
That's what I said, man. Those were the days of
They had shorty temples. That's what they called them. You want to be a pimp?
And you gotta have a high-pitched voice too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta have a very high-pitched voice. You know, that goes along with the territory. All right, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Wa ba'd. Where's your book at? You left it in the car. Huh? Why would I take your book? You get my books, but I don't take your books. It doesn't work like that. You handed me my book.
Are you the car keeper opening up?
أنت أعطيتني كتبي فكيف أنا أعطيتك كتابك? What's up? You gave me my books out of the car. You gave me my books. So why did you forget your book? Yeah, because you said I didn't give you your book. You gave me my books. All right, so we're on chapter Bab. Where are we at now? Silat al-Rahim Tazidu fil Umr. Yeah, Bab, chapter 28, hadith number 56. None of that is beneficial for you in your book. It's loud, huh?
Yeah.
It's good. Make the people turn the volume down now. All right. حدثنا عبد الله بن صالح. Who is Abdullah ibn Salih?
Oh, he's someone with weakness in hadith.
All right, but what's his nickname? Who does he narrate from? Oh, you don't know who he narrates from because you don't have to change the narration in your book. All right, so حدثنا عبد الله ibn Salih قال حدثني الليث. So Abdullah ibn Salih they call him Katib al-Layth. Katib al-Layth. All right, and fihi ضعف, but it's not super weak. But there's a weakness with him. But this hadith is authentic. قال حدثني الليث قال حدثني عقيل عن ابن شهاب من؟ محمد بن من؟ الزهري. محمد بن من؟ محمد بن زهري.
You just said
No, it's Muhammad ibn Muslim.
Oh,
all right. So Ibn Shihab Zuhri قال أخبرني أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من أحب أن يبسط له في رزقه وينسأ له في أثره فليصل رحمه. So here Anas ibn Malik, he reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever loves that he would have an increase in his provisions, like his provisions will become like vast, like yubsat lahu, it become like increased. When yunsa lahu fi atharihi, and here what it means is that his life will be increased. فَلْيَصِلْ رَحِمَهُ, and let him keep ties of kinship. All right. So we discussed this hadith before. Yes or no? Huh? We spoke about this hadith before, right? Okay, not directly, like we didn't take the hadith, but we spoke about the hadith before. So we have the hadith of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. When the angel goes to the person in the womb, he says when the angel is يُؤْمَرُ بِأَرْبَعِ كَلِمَاتٍ بِكَتَبِ إيش؟ رِزْقِهِ وَأَجَلِهِ وَعَمَلِهِ وَشَقِيٌّ أَوْ سَعِيدٌ. All right. So these four things, it's gonna be his provisions for his whole entire life are gonna be written. So he's not gonna get anything more. He's not gonna get anything less. His period of life, how long his life is gonna be, is written. his actions, whether he's going to do righteous actions or not righteous actions, sins, or a mixture of the two, whatever, all of that's written. And his place, whether he's going to be in Jannah or the hellfire or the Jahannam, is already written for him. But this hadith says that if a person wants to increase his life and increase his risk, then he should keep ties of kinship. So how do كيف نجمع بين الحديثين?
Because people who keep the ties of kinship are known for having long lives. Like that's because it's already written for them that they will keep the ties of kinship, and it's already written for them that they will have a long life.
All right, it's written that because his actions are written. فيكتب وإيش؟ فيؤمر بكتب رزقه وأجله وعمله. His actions are written. So if he's going to be keeping the ties of kinship, then that's already what? Written. So then that's already factored into the age and the increase in age and the increase in provisions and risk. That's one. And the other one from amongst the ulama says it increases him in what? And barakah. Like he has more barakah in his risk and more barakah in his lifetime. You know, like Allah puts more blessing in it, so he can get more done in a smaller, like a shorter life with lesser money. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases the barakah. But the first opinion is what? Stronger. All right. So yes. حدثنا إبراهيم بن المنذر قال حدثنا محمد بن معن قال حدثني أبي عن سعيد بن أبي سعيد المقبوري عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول من سره أن يبسط له في رزقه وأن ينسأ له في أثره فليصل رحمه. All right, and this hadith is in Bukhari, but I'm not sure if it's in Muslim. It's in Bukhari with the exact same chain of narration, but I'm trying to see if it's in Sahih Muslim. No, it's only in Bukhari. But the hadith is Sahih. And that's what I'm saying. Even though this hadith you have Abdullah ibn Salih wa fihi da'af, but then you have this hadith as a shahid, and you see it's almost the same wording. So that's why you have Hasan al-Ghayrihi, and this one is Sahih. So this one's reported, huh? I mean, it's in Bukhari. All right, so this one's reported on by Abi Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu. So is this hadith and the one before it considered one hadith?
Is it considered?
It's the same wording, right? So this one hadith, two hadiths.
No, it's not the same wording.
It is. I mean, it's the same meaning. It's almost the exact same meaning. So is this one hadith or two hadiths?
Same chain?
No.
Actually, the same hadith. Same hadith.
Hmm?
The same.
If it's different chain, it's two hadiths.
Because right here it says
Different chains to who, though?
If the chain is different.
But what if the sahabi is the same and the chain of narration after the sahabi is different? Then it's two hadiths or is it one?
two hadiths.
It's one, ain't it?
No.
Two hadiths.
That's the same because it says right here.
The first hadith is narrated by who? No. Anas ibn Malik. The second hadith is narrated by who? Okay, so that's two separate hadiths because it's two separate sahaba, even if it's the exact same wording. All right, there's two separate hadiths. This was a mistake that some very intelligent human being did. He tried to refute Sheikh Muqbil, rahimahullah, because Sheikh Muqbil brought narrations in his Sahih Musnad. You know, and because the Sahih Musnad are supposed to be the ahadith that are outside of Bukhari and Muslim that have the conditions of authenticity that Bukhari and Muslim have. So Sheikh Muqbil would bring ahadith, the same ahadith that you see in the Sahihain, some narrations, but from a different Sahabi. But the narration from the other Sahabi was outside of Bukhari and Muslim. So this guy decided, hey, I'm going to refute Sheikh Muqbil and tell him, like, look, you're saying that these hadiths are outside of the Sahihain, and they're not. They're in Bukhari and Muslim. See? And he went and wrote this risala trying to show the hadith, you know. And then Sheikh Yahya smashed him so badly. It was a pity. It's almost to read his reputation of this person. It was almost, you start to feel sorry for, like when you first understand the concept of what Sheikh Yahya was refuting him for, you're like, get him, Sheikh. Then when he got him, you're like, have mercy, ya Sheikh. You know, it's like you, because he smashed him. He smashed him, and it's, sadly enough that it was in a volume like about this big. He just destroyed him, and he picked apart every single hadith that he said that the Sheikh made a mistake in, and just destroyed him. And it's sad because these books aren't published.
Who was the person who tried to refute?
I can't even remember. Nobody's ever going. Some guy in Saudi. You know, he tried to like be like a muhaddith and tried to like, you know, but he didn't realize that you have this hadith is in Bukhari, Abu Hurairah. This hadith of Anas ibn Malik is not in Bukhari. If you look at the takhrij of the hadith, actually, hold on. This one, but not with this chain of narration maybe. You got to check the chains of narration if it's the same chain of narration. But it says here in Bukhari and Muslim that it is narrated, Anas ibn Malik in Bukhari and Muslim. But only in Bukhari and Abu Hurairah. But let's say that one of these was narrated outside of the Sahihain and the other was narrated in the Sahihain. So then that one other hadith would be considered what? Outside of the Sahihain. And that's what Sheikh Muqbil was compiling, rahimahullah. But this guy, because he just jumped the gun, then, you know, thought he knew what he was talking about and embarrassed himself very badly. It was so embarrassing that it was like, you know when a sheikh tells his students, you handle this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to waste my time with this. You handle it. You know, and he sends his students to refute the person. You know you're going to get it. You know you're going to get it. Because if the sheikh doesn't even recognize the person as being significant for him to, it was just so stupid what he tried to do. So he's like, go, have fun. And man, the sheikh wrote a book like that, 300 something pages, and just destroyed him. Destroyed him a long time, but you can't find that book anywhere. SubhanAllah. I had it when I was in Yemen, but can't find it now.
This is a cool question. Because I remember I asked you when you first came, I said, is every hadith and silsilat sahih, is it sahih? You said it's the Ishar of Sheikh Al-Albani. Is it the same for the Musnad of Muqbil? Or is every single hadith in his?
Well, he went through the hadith with the students. He went over the book. And students in Damascus, they memorize. So you got to understand. I don't know the students of Sheikh Al-Albani. I never sat with them, never talked to them. You know, so I don't know what they used to memorize. But the Sahih al-Musnad from Sheikh Muqbil, a lot of the bigger students, they memorized it. And they went and researched the hadiths behind them. And then Sheikh, he found certain hadith that were in it that he found out that were not authentic, but they took them all out. Either he found them or other students found them or whatever, but they took those hadiths out and they made a different book from it. It's like I think it's called, I told you to look it up before. I'm not sure of the name. It's something like Hadith al-Mu'alla or something like that. Check it in Google. We'll find the name of the book. I should probably check it because every time I send them to Google, I'm gonna tell them to go find the name of Sheikh Muqbil's book. He's like, I can't find it on the Sheikh bin Baz's website. It's like, don't go to Sheikh bin Baz's website. Just go to Google, man.
What did you say? Kitab al-Mu'allaqa?
Al-Mu'alla. No, al-Ahadith al-Mu'alla. Not al-Kitab al-Mu'alla. Al-Mu'alla, like from al-Illa.
So the brother said it's called, what? Jami Sahih?
No, Jami Sahih was taken from Sahih al-Musnad. The original book that the Sheikh wrote was Sahih al-Musnad mimma laysa fi Sahihain. And then he took those ahadith from the Sahih al-Musnad and put them in Abwab al-Fiqhiyah, which are like fiqh related chapters. And that's Jami Sahih. So Jami Sahih is just, what's the full name of the book?
Hadith Mu'alla Zahiraha As-Sahha Sheikh Muqbil bin Hadi al-Wadi'i.
Yeah. So these were the hadith that he originally placed because he originally did the hukum on these hadiths that they were sahih. And then he found out, either him or his students, somebody came across it and they said, no, Sheikh, this ain't right. Yeah. Well, that's a very beneficial book for students of hadith. Nobody here, not yet. Too young for that. You got to start crawling first. All right, so any questions about those hadiths? No.
So the one I sent you, the one that we just spoke about, that one with Zahira, that every hadith in that is sahih.
No,
Or is that the one that, it was the original one?
it was taken out of it was like they found those hadiths to be da'if after research, and then they were taken out and placed into that book, Al-Hadith Al-Mu'alla. And that's why he said, ظاهرها صحة. Because when you look at the chain of narration, you're like, okay, that's authentic. But you gotta, then when you start digging and digging and digging, then you find, wait a second, this person didn't hear this hadith from this person. This person only heard one hadith. Because you get certain people from the tabi'een or even from the atba' tabi'een, they only heard one hadith from the person. But this is not that hadith that he heard. But when you see the chain of narration, you're gonna say, well, yeah, he narrated from him. He's from his students, right? So you go and look it up in like tahdib wa tahdib, and things like that. Or not like tahdib, but like, let's say taqrib wa tahdib. You'll see that, well, actually not, because it's not going to say who he's the student of, but tahdib wa tahdib. When you look up the biographies, you're going to see that he studied with that person. But you don't realize until you start digging that he only took one hadith from him. And that hadith is not it. Then when you figure out that hadith is not it, then what? Then it's not authentic. The hadith becomes da'if. You didn't bring your book, did you?
It's in the car.
I told you. You can go. Yeah. We're going to start, because what we're going to do here is, this is not going to be easy. Are y'all ready?
Well, mine looks different than yours.
I lost my whole Friday sitting there trying to figure out how I'm going to go over this. This is not going to be easy. And the not easy part is taking what Ibn al-Qayyim said and expressing what he said to you in English. It's just on the brink of impossible. But something's better than nothing, right? So this is just, I was just opening up the random areas, and I said anything interesting I find, I'm going to read the whole chapter, and if it's something that's beneficial, we'll take it. So this is just fasl. Fasl is what? Well, they always use the word fasl for what?
God.
What's the name of a chapter in the Arabic language? No.
Oh, fossil.
What's the name of chapter in the Arabic language? Chapter. What? We say it every single day in Adab al-Mufrad. Bab kada. Bab, because it's a door, so it's a doorway into the understanding of that information. So when that information is long, you don't want to have bab and then 50 pages. So you break it up into fusul. Fusul. So you have you break it up into smaller portions. He's yelling at the kids or what? So nobody doing Tai Chi in the parking lot? Okay. All right, so the fasl is basically, it's a part of a chapter, a piece of a chapter. To break the chapter down, you break it down into fusul, because fasl, it means in the Arabic language what? Like fasala shay and shay. It means to cut it and separate it, So it's not separated, but it's separated from the main chapter, and that here he's going to focus on, in each fasl, he's going to focus on one piece of information that completes the entire chapter, the information of the chapter. I don't know how you're going to find where I'm at. You're going to have to really do something.
This is, I think, 2 volumes in one.
Yeah, and this is just, I got it in 3 volumes. Because it's all just fasl. Yeah, you're going to have a hard time finding this, man.
Maybe there's a table of contents.
Well, if you write, if you not write, but if you just focus on the first words and just skim through. I'm on page 125 in my book, so mine starts on page 35.
What's your volume?
I'm on volume 1. It's 3 volumes.
What page what again?
I'm on page 125, so you'll probably be on page, 60 something or 50 something.
What's the fasl name?
There's no name for the fasl, it's just fasl. But all right, so let's begin. I'll start reading, you'll find it, inshallah. So he said, وَمُتَابَعَةُ هُدَى اللَّهِ الَّتِي رَتَّبَ عَلَيْهَا هَذِهِ الْأَمُورِ هي تصديق خبره من غير اعتراض شبهة تقده في تصديقه وامتثال أمره من غير اعتراض شهوة تمنع امتثاله. Now you see why this is going to be very, very difficult to put this in the English language. So he said, following the guidance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set down, التي عليها أن يرتب عليها هذه الأمور. Now I don't know what the umur are because I have to go back and read the fusul before it, but it's not important. It's only important for this part, but then you'll understand the rest later, inshallah. He said, تصديق خبره من غير اعتراض شبهة تقده في تصديقه. So he said that you have belief in whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. Like you have belief in it. Like if Allah said it, it's true. خلاص. And he said بغير اعتراض. اعتراض in the Arabic language means what?
Turning away.
No, that's i'rad. I'tirad is like to show opposition or disagreement, you know. So you're accepting whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you accept it. بغير اعتراض شبهة. So there's no shubha. Shubha means what? No.
Shubha, like doubt.
It comes from the word of ishtabaha. Ishtabaha, it means like two things like hada shibha hada, you know, it yushbihu hada, like it's but what it is about the halal and the haram. So when it becomes so unclear, the issue becomes so unclear, it's like they're almost merging where you can't tell, is this halal or is this haram? And this is called a shubha. You know, and if you can't tell if this is the truth or if this is falsehood, then it's a shubha. If you can't tell if this is sunnah or if this is bid'ah, this becomes a shubha, you know. And then what are we supposed to do in the time of the shubhats?
Leave it alone.
Now you stay away from them, you know. What's the dalil for that? That's a good one, but what's the other one? Yeah, so here ولا يعلمون. So the you know the clear, like the halal is clear, the haram is clear, but between these two affairs there's things that they gotta kind of get mixed up where you can't tell. If you don't really have deep knowledge in something, you'll think that the halal is haram or the haram is halal, and you might not be able to tell because you don't have that type of knowledge. So he said, وَبَيْنَهُمَا أَمُورٌ مُشْتَبِهَاتٌ لَا يَعْلَمُهُنَّ كَثِيرٌ مِنَ النَّاسِ. So he said, most of the people, they don't know these things. Who are the people that know them? The people of knowledge, the people that studied and dedicated their knowledge themselves to knowledge and to getting that knowledge until it became clear to them. And obviously this is not just the person who just studies, you know, because a lot of people just study, but this is the person that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has opened up his understanding, you know, has given them that understanding. And that's what he's going to talk about here too, inshallah. So these are the shubahat. So he said that you believe in whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, any khabar that comes from Allah, you believe it with no, you know, not going against it and not, you know, not having any type of shubahat within yourself, any type of unclear matters within yourself that cause you to oppose what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. He said, بِاعْتِرَاضِ شُبْهَةٍ تَقَدَحُ. تَقَدَحُ, it means what?
What is it?
القدح. يقدح.
قدح means cup.
No.
I know, but in this context,
it's like, you know, what's the word in English for this? Like, cause of, you know, something like a bad, like a, how can I say this now? How would you say like يطعن فيه in English?
He cut in his honor?
No, not like يطعن فيه في عرضه. It caused like, you know, you to look bad basically.
Or ruin your honor.
Huh? Yeah. Because it's يقدح في تصديقه. Like for example, a person, if he lies or if he's not honest or there's certain things that he does, this is like a qadah fihi. You know, like now when he comes up and says, well, I heard the Prophet ﷺ say this, be like, wait a second, homeboy, you the guy that, you know, you never pray with us, you never, you know what I'm saying, we never see you in the masjid, we never, and you gonna tell us that the Prophet ﷺ said this? This is a, you know, qadah fihi, you know, yeah. It's like a naqs, like a aib or deficiency in them, you know. So it's like this, you know. Basically, it shows like a deficiency in the person. So he said, "Taqdahu bi tasdiqihi wa imtithalu amrihi," and he said, and to follow To carry out, because imtithal, it means what? In the Arabic language, imtithalu amrihi.
Going forward with his command.
To carry out his commands. Imtathala, it means to carry them out, to be the mithal, to be the one who does it. Like you are the example for the commands because you do them, and the people can see the commands, like you're the example for it because you're carrying those commands out. So imtithalu amrihi is like you carry out the commands من غير اعتراض شهوة تمنع امتثاله, without any type of opposing desires that causes you to, like, blocks you from carrying those commands out. So basically what he's saying is what keeps a person from getting knowledge and what keeps a person from acting on that knowledge. All right, so he mentioned two things. So the first thing he mentioned what? The thing that destroys the person in his ability to get knowledge is the shubuhat. Those unclear matters. And he gets involved in those unclear matters and he gets caught up in that, and then his heart becomes, misguided. Yes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this in Surah Al Imran. What did he say? إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَتَّبِعُونَ Wait. Now I got to go through the whole page now. No. منه آيات محكمات هن أم الكتاب وأخر متشابهات فأما الذين في قلوبهم زيغ فيتبعون ما تشابه منه ابتغاء الفتنة وابتغاء تأويله وما يعلم تأويله إلا الله والراسخون في العلم يقولون آمنا به كل من عند ربنا وما يذكر إلا أولو الألباب. So you see the people that have that misguidance in their heart, they follow the mutashabihat, they follow these things, they look for them because these are the unclear matters that that they can try to use and manipulate to their advantage. Like for example, we look at these types of affairs where we want to build a masjid, and now these people that want to donate to the masjid, they sell like haram products, they sell things that are haram, but some of their money might be halal because they sell halal things and they sell haram things. So now this person would, start to get him, take this issue and what? Manipulate it to his advantage. No, it's okay because you sell some halal things. So, we can overlook the haram things because we don't know. Just say that you're giving us money that's halal. How does he know? How does he know what of his money is halal unless he's going to go back to all his books and go check all the money and everything? How does he know what's halal, what's haram? Or what about these people that say, you're collecting riba, you're collecting interest in your bank accounts from all your money. Just donate it to the masjid and we can use it for carpet and windows and things like this because it's halal for us to use it, but it's haram for you to use it. You see this? فَلَمَّا زَاغُوا أَزَاغَ اللَّهُ قُلُوبَهُم. So once they chose that path of misguidance, they chose it because of whatever, they're after the dunya, they're after status with the people, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala caused their hearts to stray. And then that was it. Once Allah caused their hearts to stray, there's no coming back. It's a game over for you, unless you make some real tawbah. But most people, when they're following their desires like the shubahat, they don't really, it's very, very rare that you find somebody that makes tawbah from that. People that follow their desires, So this is what he's saying. The shubahat, keeping the people from learning, it keeps you from really getting proper knowledge. And the desires keep you from what? Yeah, because you're falling into sin. And if you fall into sin, then, doing righteous actions is going to be heavy for you. You have to really, really push yourself. Like, oh my God, I got to go to the masjid for Fajr. Oh, I got to do this, Night prayer. Oh, let's just deal with the wajibat first. We're talking about the night prayer. The night prayer right now is difficult for everybody. Tell me a person that it's easy for. How many hours do we have in the night after Salat al-Isha? We pray Isha here almost 10 o'clock every night. No, I'm saying we get out at by the time we get home, it's 11 o'clock. 11 at the earliest time that we get home. And Fajr is at 4:12 now. The Adhan is now at 4:12. So you got 5 hours and 12 minutes. That means you could probably sleep for 3 hours and get up and pray for an hour. And then, then you got to spend the other time getting ready to leave and get the Fajr, right? So that's going to be difficult for anybody nowadays. So And this is the most difficult time for, to do that. The easiest time, obviously, the winter. But we're just talking about the things that are wajib upon you, things that you have to do. You don't got a choice in the matter. They're heavy for the person. What about extra things? So after that, he said, وَعَلَى هَذَيْنِ الْأَصْلَيْنِ مَدَارَ الْإِيمَانِ. He said, on these two principles are what? Iman. Like, they go and they circle Iman. Like, this is Iman. It all goes back to, this is where, Iman is the mustard, So you have the first one is what? That he has tasdeeq with no i'tira, no shubahat or nothing. Like, he takes the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speech and he believes it wholeheartedly, with ikhlas, with belief. Nothing, nothing else. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands him to do something, it's done. He carries out those commands. He doesn't allow his desires to get involved. And these two things, all of the person's Iman, circle this. They keep returning to these two things. Returning to these two things. And this is what he's saying. He said that وَعَلَى هَذَيْنِ أَصْلَيْنِ مِدَارَ الْإِيمَانِ وَهُمَا تَصْدِيقُ الْخَبَرِ وَطَاعَةُ الْأَمْرِ. So he said the two things are what? Belief in the information of Allah, and belief in the khabar, the statements of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and obviously the authentic statements of his messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said وَطَاعَةُ الْأَمْرِ, and obedience to the commands. So these are the two things. This is it. This is where, if you're going to put all your focus in, this is where you need to put your focus in. Because now, number one, we talk about tasdiq al-khabar. Tasdiq al-khabar, it means to believe what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. Completely. No doubt, no shak, no nothing. Right? Because the Quran is only a guidance for people who what? Have no doubt. If you have doubt, then the Quran is not guidance for you. What's the delil for that? Yeah, la rayba fihi. Hudan lil muttaqeen. It's guidance for the muttaqeen. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, la rayba fihi. There's no doubt in this book. So there's no way that you could have doubt, because there's no doubt that this is from Allah. There's no doubt that everything that he said in this book is the truth. Whatever we don't understand now, we'll understand later when we get more knowledge and everything. But everything is the truth. And what's so beautiful about the Quran is you look at the understanding of people. Like, for example, each person on their level of knowledge can read the Quran and benefit something from it. So a person who just knows the Arabic language, that's it. Never studied Tawheed, Aqidah, Usul al-Fiqh, Mustalah Hadith, none of the sciences of the deen. Never read books of tafsir. But he can read the Quran and he can benefit from the language. Just like, you saw the mushrikun, when the Quran was read to them, they heard ayahs, penetrated their heart, they cried, and then they would accept Islam. All right, because they understood it, But then as they got knowledge, and then they were taught by the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then their understanding what? It skyrocketed. It went to a whole nother level. So it's amazing that you get this person on the lowest level of knowledge can understand something from this book. Something. He can benefit from it. Cause him to cry. Cause him to accept Islam. And then this person also, on this level of knowledge, it will cause him to cry and will cause him to reach a level of ihsan. Where he just reached the level of Islam. But this man, because of the knowledge and his actions and his belief, now reached the level of al-ihsan. So you see the difference, and that's amazing. And that's what he's saying, is that everything about Iman, it goes around belief in what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, complete belief, and obedience to the commands. And then he said, وَيَتْبَعَهُمَا أَمْرَانِ آخَرَانِ. And he said, and two other issues follow these two. So he said, وَهُمَا نَفْيُ شُبَهَاتِ الْبَاطِلِ الْوَارِدَةِ عَلَيْهِ. He said to, the negation and to get rid of all the shubahat al-batil, al-warida alayhi. So anything that comes to you, it might be that causes you to start to doubt, or to start, to start thinking like maybe the halal is maybe not looking so hard, or the haram is mostly with the haram looking halal and things like that. It's to get rid of that. As you have to fight that off and get rid of that. All right. And he said after that, he said, وَهُمَا نَفْيُ الشُّبَهَاتِ الْبَاطِلِ وَارِدَةِ عَلَيْهِ الْمَانِيَةِ مِنْ كَمَالِ الْإِمْتِثَالِ. And this prevents you from kamal al-imtithal, So you carry out the commands, but because you have these shubahat and these things that are coming to you, they're causing you to kind of like, become mutalakhbat. I don't know, like you're kind of like not on steady ground, you're on shaky ground now. So you're not carrying out the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the most perfect manner. So that, you're carrying them out, but now you got naqs, you got deficiency in the way that you're carrying them out. He said, من كمال الامتثال وأن لا يخمش بها وجه تصديقه. يخمش or يخمش, both of them the same. See, he said, ولا يخمش. Did you find where I'm at?
I hope so.
Huh?
I hope so.
Well, I mean, I'm reading, so.
Yeah, I'm following, but it's just like maybe one word that's different.
Oh, okay, that's not a problem.
Like you'll say min and it's fi, or fi and it's min.
Oh, okay, that's not a problem. Well, he said, وَأَنْ لَا يَخْمِشَ بِهَا وَجْهَ تَصْدِيقِهِ. The word خَمَشَ يَخْمِشُ, you say like يَخْمِشَ الْوَجْهِ. It means like you do something to deface the person, like, do something to destroy their face. All right, and you can say يَخْمِشُ or يَخْمُشُ, or either one. So you say like an example, like خَمَشَ فُلَانٍ جَرَحَ بَشَرَتَهُ, like you scarred up his face, or you cut up his face to cause like where, now he doesn't look like he used to look anymore. So it's a deficiency. So he's saying this is the same thing about deficiencies. So he said, وَلَا يَخْمِشَ بِهَا وَجْهَ تَصْدِيقِهِ. So he's saying that his belief in what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if he gets involved in these shubahat, which causes him also to what? To not carry out the awamr, to not carry out the commands in a perfect manner, then it also causes him to be like mahmush, like he's like, now he's like cut up and damaged, and you can see it in him, because now it's like almost like his iman and his tasdeeq for this is now is this, it's all scarred up, and the beauty of it is not like it used to be, because he got it damaged through all these shubahat and doubt. He said, وَدَفْعُ شَهَوَاتِ الْغَيِّ الْوَارِدَةِ عَلَيْهِ وَالْمَانِعَةِ مِنْ كَمَالِ الْامْتِثَالِ. And he said, and to defer means to what? Yeah, to push back and to keep back. Because dafa'a, it means to push. So when you say dafa'a shay, it means like, you're thinking of like dafa'a, yudafi'u, mudafa'atan or difa'an. That means to defend. But that's how you're defending, because the enemy is advancing and you're pushing the enemy back. This is dafa', so this is difa', which is defense, because that's defense is pushing them back. If you allow them to come in, you're not defending anything. They overtake you, so you have to push them back. So that's where the word dafa' comes from, a difa'. Or difa' comes from dafa'. So he said, وَدَفَعْ شَهَوَاتِ الْغَيِّ. So all these misguided desires that you have to do what? You have to keep pushing them back. Just like you see how you have like a hisn or like a guarded fortress, and the enemies just surrounded it, and those desires and everything, they're surrounding it, and then you just have to stand up and defend that fortress. You can't allow those desires, because that fortress is your heart, and if those desires come, they're able to like maneuver and get into the fortress, then what happens? He says, وَدَفْعَ شَهَوَاتِ الْغَيِّ الْوَارِدَةِ عَلَيْهِ الْمَانِعَةِ مِنْ كَمَالِ الْامْتِثَالِ, because this also prevents you from carrying out the commands in an appropriate way, because you're too busy going after what you desire. So as you're busy doing the things that you desire, what are you not doing? Well, you're not doing the things that Allah has commanded you to do. So if you're not using your time for benefit, now you're just trying to fulfill your desires, you're going out, whatever, chasing girls or out living in the dunya, trying to party or doing anything. Obviously, if you're busy with that, because that's Ashabul Shimal, and you're not busy with what you should be busy with, it's Ashabul Yamin. All right. And that's what he's saying, that you can't carry out the commands in a full manner because, you're too busy following after your desires, or you're too busy involved in shubahat. Is this clear to you guys? I mean, because like I said, it's deep, heavy, and in the Arabic, it's just, I'm trying to like relay, so I have to, He said, فَهُنَا أَرْبَعَةُ أَمُورٍ. So he said, here we have four affairs, or four issues. أحدها, the first one, تصديق الخبر. So the first thing is what? Tasdiq al-khabar, what do we say that means?
Believing the news.
And believing what Allah has told you. Okay, this is what Allah said, this is the khabar, we believe it. Alright, الثاني بذل الاجتهاد في رد الشبهات التي توحيها شياطين الجن والإنس في معارضته. So بذل الاجتهاد, what does this mean?
Like giving out your, how do you say shit in English? I know what it means.
It means like
Effort.
But it means giving all the effort that you have. When you say بذل اجتهاده في شيء, that means that when he got done, zero left in the tank. He gave everything. And he's saying what? بذل الاجتهاد في رد الشبهات, to push back those doubtful matters, those shubahat, those things like this, to push them back. توحيها شياطين الجن, that the shayateen, that the devils from the humans and the jinn, they come and they try to they try to get you to follow what they want you to follow. And these shayateen are not always going to be kuffar, shaving beards, dressed in suits and ties, lawyers or whatever. No, those are shayateen. But the shayateen that cause us problems are what? Yeah. And like the Prophet ﷺ talked about the hypocrites in the last days. He said, يَتَكَلَّمُونَ بِأَلْسِنَتِنَا, and he wish, what did he say? هُوَ مِنْ بَنِي جِلْدِنَا وَيَتَكَلَّمُونَ بِأَلْسِنَتِنَا. He said they're from our saying. He said they're from Bani. He said they're from the people of our skin. So he's saying they're from the Arabs. وَيَتَكَلَّمُونَ بِأَلْسِنَتِنَا, and they speak with the same tongue as we speak with. So they look just like us, but they're not. You understand? So he's saying that they're going to come in disguise as like the Arab with the pure tongue, and he's going to try to teach the people like this is the way that you have to follow, but it's not the path of the Prophet ﷺ. And you see, if you look at like the majority, like us in America, let's talk about our situation. So you guys, who's the only? You're deleted from this conversation. You're mustawrad. You know what mustawrad means? It's like exports, Yeah. So let's deal with like the American issue, like, because we got to talk to even the younger brothers. Y'all get out of this conversation. What was the biggest cause of all the problems in America amongst the Muslims? Like us as American Muslims, back in the days, back before we knew all of this stuff that we knew, what was our only concern? Now, this is people that became Muslim in the 80s, early 90s, 70s. Well, what was the main concern for us?
Knowledge.
But specific knowledge, what?
Allah and the Quran.
I mean, the Quran and the Sunnah. Just give me a copy of, when Dar es-Salaam started printing the copies of Sahih Bukhari and started printing the copies of Sahih Muslim in English, and then brothers started getting those translations, and we could sit down and we could actually read the Sunnah. Ya akhi, that was like, we're in Jannah, right? That was it, akhi. It was like nothing in this world matter. If you had a copy of Bukhari or Muslim, boy, you're on top of the world, That's a cheesecake every day for you,
So then eventually.
Yeah, well, the Yusuf Ali thing, we're not going to get to that. That's going to be a part of the problem. Yeah, that's a part of the problem. But
So is it safe to say that most people are Salafi by default to their talks?
the asl of a Muslim person becoming Muslim, and when you say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, and you say this with truth, and you understand what la ilaha illallah means, and you understand what Muhammad Rasulullah means, that's Salafi. That's what that means. That's because you're following, and you're saying, I'm following Allah, I'm following the Quran, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told me to do, I'm carrying out His commands, staying away from His prohibitions. That's la ilaha illallah. And I'm following the messenger. And I don't put the obedience of any human being over the obedience of the messenger, because if you follow Imam Malik and you take the statement of Imam Malik over the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then who do you follow? So now, have you fulfilled the condition of Muhammad Rasulullah? You fulfilled it in a way, but there's naqs, there's deficiency in your following it. So you got to fix that. So okay, this is what Imam Malik says. Okay, tell you, where did Imam Malik get that? Where did he get it from? Where's the hadith? I want to see where he got it from. Because he had to get it from the Quran, or he had to get it from the Sunnah. So if that's your understanding of La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, then yes, you're Salafi. But if you come into Islam with the understanding of the Sufis, where they say that La ilaha illallah means La mawjood illallah, or La khalaq illallah, or the philosophers where they say La sani'a illallah, there's no architect except for Allah, like some Masons, as philosophers. And in this case, no, that's not Salafi, because you haven't come into the deen with the correct understanding of what you're doing the shahada for. Can we say that on? Not right now. We'll tell them later. Sure.
I'm hot. I'm cold.
So get outside. I'm hot. I'm cold.
But you were saying earlier
Oh,
about.
No, man. Let me finish now. So, because I told you, you're out of this conversation for right now. So, when we had that, khalas, we're so happy. All we want to do, we read a hadith, we want to go practice it. Prophet wore a thobe. Let's find where can we get a thobe? Actually, we used to search this down back in the 90s. Like, where can we get a thobe? Where can we get a thobe? Brother come back from Jordan, he's got thobes. How much you want it for? How much we're ready to pay whatever, 45, whatever he tells us. If he told us the price is $200 per thobe, we're ready to pay it just to have that thobe so we could dress like the Prophet. Just to, whatever. And we made a lot of mistakes because obviously we're going off of English translation, but the intent of what we're trying to do was there. Then here comes all these immigrants. Now here we are, just miskeens. We're just trying to practice the Quran and practice the Sunnah. We're Muslims. And then these guys come from Pakistan, from India. This is early. I'm in Florida. So we didn't have a lot of Arabs at that time. Maybe a few from like Morocco and things like that. So the Arabs came like later in Florida. But back in those days, it's mostly Afghanis, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, and they come with their Hanafi madhab, with their messed up aqidah, whether they're whatever they are, Maturidi or whatever, Ash'ari, whatever aqidah, and then they try to push that on us. And because we're ignorant and we think, oh, here finally we have what? Muslims that know. Now they can teach us and they can explain to us the stuff that we're reading. So now we can make sure that we're practicing it correctly. So we had that trust. And then we listened. We didn't realize these dudes had never studied anything. We didn't know. Most of these guys can't even speak Arabic. But we didn't know. We trusted them. And then now, all the people, now you started seeing Americans saying, I'm Maliki. Then Americans becoming Tablighi. Americans talking about, I'm Maliki, Shafi'i, Hanafi. And then all this stuff started where it never existed before. And then alhamdulillah, of course, like in the later 90s, when the da'wah of Sheikh Al-Albani, rahimahullah, started to really spread through America, and then that kind of brought the people back. A lot of the people came back to that understanding of like, this is the Sunnah, and we want to follow the Sunnah. But then again, people started coming, dressed again, min bani jildatina, wa yatakallamuna bi alsinatina. So then we started getting all these guys coming from Egypt, from Sardinia, but these guys are not the strong students. These guys are the guys that are affiliated with the Ikhwani Muslimin and all these other groups. Then they come here and say, no, this is the Sunnah. We're going to teach you the Sunnah. Those guys don't know anything, but we're going to teach you right. And then what happens? And they took us. We were already split. Then they took that split and split it again. And then each split, it just kept getting split and split and split until like now you see that there's absolutely no unity amongst the Muslims in America. None. So for us, we have to go back and revert back to, that asl, that was where our strength was. But this time we need to do it with correct knowledge and not trusting just any person. Because now we should what's the hadith? Your hadith. What's the hadith? This is yours. This is your hadith. What is it? You know it. You forgot Abdul Malik's hadith. No, that's not a hadith yet. He'll make nobody here will make it up, but I'm pretty sure he'll probably find some made up hadith about it. But you don't remember your hadith? لا يلدغ المؤمن من جحر واحد مرتين. That a believer does not get stung from the same hole twice. Once he sticks his hand in that hole and he gets stung, he's like, what type of stupid individual go back and say, well, I wonder if I stick my hand in it again, if I'm going to get stung this time? That would be dumb, right? Yeah. But no, once you got stung, you like cover that hole. You know, and I don't want to see that hole ever again. That's it, it's done. You know, so that's the believer. He sees, he learns from the mistake. If he falls into a mistake, he's quick to learn from that mistake, quick to make tawbah, and quick never to repeat that mistake again. So that's our hadith. That's the hadith that we need to be focused on, like, because we made a lot of huge mistakes. And it wasn't really a mistake. We trusted people. But we got to understand, like, you know, once I went overseas and I lived in Yemen, I understood, because I had Yemenis coming to me and telling me what they have to do to get the American passport. And I'm like, wallahi, there's no way a person with deen could just be allowed into America with ease. Because there's so much, like, they get vetted so much before they get that visa. Where it's like, basically, and I even used to joke with them. I said, why don't you just go to them and say, I want to go to America because I want to vote, and I want to be free, and I want to wave a rainbow flag, and you might get the visa tomorrow. You know, because these are the types of things that you have to do. You have to really show that you have no religion. So these are the people that are getting the visa, coming over here and now teaching us this is the sunnah. This is the sunnah. You understand? Sheikh Yahya tried to get a visa to America to come and give dawah. Rejected. Sheikh Mubil didn't get a visa except because through the Saudi government. So when Sheikh Mubil came for ilaj, like he came because he had the problem with his liver, and they sent him to UCLA Medical Center because they had the best doctors there to deal with that issue. That was from Prince Naif, rahimahullah. That was on he paid for that, and he prepared everything for him. So he had, like, basically going on like diplomatic type status. So, I mean, that's how he got to America. They weren't just going to hand him a visa so he can come to America and give dawah in Los Angeles. That would, you know, they know that's not going to happen. So you see, and then later on, like, this was before Sheikh Mubil got sick. Sheikh Yahya tried to get the visa to America, but he got refused. So he ended up going to Britain and giving dawah in Britain. You know, he wrote a risala about that. It's funny, risala. He wrote about his experiences in Britain. One of his experiences was that he went to a Hindu temple. No, he said, I want, you know, because it's like, you know, when you live in a place where none of this exists, you read about shirk and you read about these asnam, so you want to see it. Because it's going to give you more hatred for it and more iman and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down, because you see how stupid it is that these people worship stone idols. So he went to a Hindu temple, and the brother that took him was Hassan Turki. I ended up, when I went to Damaj, I was actually staying with this brother Hassan in his house. And he was the one that was driving the sheikh around Britain. So that was, you know, so you get the story from the sheikh's book and firsthand from Hassan. But so he goes and he has a translator, and people are translating for him. He says, I want to see your gods. He said, they're locked up right now. He said, come back at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. He said, huh? He said, your gods are locked up. You know, it's like, so, you know what I'm saying? So now he really understands, like, now he got to see just how stupid it really is. You know, like, they locked their gods up from like 8 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock at night, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, so we can't show you them because they're locked up. I'm like, come on, man. You know, so he wrote about all these experiences. So Allah Muslim, but I mean, for us, man, we need to go back to that also, man. Are there questions, or no? You're not even looking.
Oh yeah.
You should be looking at the questions because you're not in this conversation. Huh? This is very exclusive today, huh?
This is
No, I didn't ask that. I'm just asking if there are any questions.
okay.
Let's finish these 4 things first. So ahadaha tasdiq al-khabar. So to believe in what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. Number 2, بدل الاجتهاد في رد الشبهات التي توحيها شياطين الجن والإنس في معارضته. So anything that the shayateen, the humans, whatever, whether they look like us, talk like us, or they don't look like us and talk like us, but they come with something that you know. And this is the importance of knowledge, because how would you know? Like I said, this is why we got on this topic of conversation. We didn't know that this isn't from the Quran and the Sunnah. We didn't have all the books of Hadith translated. We have Bukhari and Muslim. Then later on they did Sunan Abi Dawud, Tirmidhi. But at that time all we had was Bukhari and Muslim. So what if he said that the Hadith and Tirmidhi, and we trust him? And we, you know, and look at, you remember that book that the Tabligis used to have? The Fada'il al-A'mal. Just complete kharafat, akhi, just like made up stories. The Prophet said this and the Sahaba did this and they used to do this. No chains and narrations, no nothing. It's just stuff that they just made up. Like, I don't know if they were drinking tea while they were writing the books. Like, hey, well, come on, give me another story, you know?
It's written in the style of the Hindu scribes over there.
I mean, when they translated it to English, and then again, they go and give us these books, and we think, oh, this is authentic, and we don't know, akhi. So it's knowledge, akhi. Your knowledge, now you understand when people come with something, they start saying, well, this is the deen. Because now it's like, now back in those days, like, wow, okay, yeah, I need to do that. Now I look at the person like, where'd you get that from? Show it to me. Let's see, here you go, You know, even like people come up, even in Yemen, they sit there and say, oh, but you know, Fulan said this. I said, okay, I'll bring his book tomorrow, and you show me exactly where he said that. Because I guarantee you, I read his book. You didn't read his book. You show me exactly where he said that. And then come the next day, you ready? Because this is obviously way back in the days before they could just check anything on Google. Here's the book. Find where he said it. Oh, this is what I heard, and this is what somebody said. But you see now, if I trusted that person and said, oh, he said this. Oh, this is a hadith. Okay, type, and I go and start acting on it because we trusted somebody. So, you know, all this, like what the shayateen come with, all these doubts and these shubahat, we gotta push that back. And the only way that we can push that back is with knowledge from the Quran and the Sunnah, pure knowledge. غير مشوب. What does mashawwab mean? Mashawwab.
Like not deceiving. Right?
Yeah, because they used to, because sometimes the milk is not enough for the whole family, so they mix it with water to stretch it out for the whole family. And they still do this, even in Damaj. When I drank the milk with the Damajis, they mixed it with other things to stretch it out. So this is like, halib mashawwab. Yeah, look it up. Go to ma'ani.com. Make sure that, because I've been having some brain flatulence, these days, And the khutbah, y'all didn't catch it, did you? What was the mistake in the khutbah? How I said Sarah, and it's Hajar. And then the Philistine brother came to me and said, I just need to correct you. And I said, He said, you said Sarah, but it was Hajar. I was like, Wallahi, you're right. Wow. Yeah. And I said, Jazakallah khair. And then I looked at him, I was like, why didn't you tell me I said that, That's that brain flatulence, man, so a long time. All right. So he said, الثالث طاعة الأمر. So the third thing is what? Where'd you find it? Shawwaba, yushawwibu, tashwiba. And they also say mashuba. You didn't find it? I gotta teach. Man, what is that? That looks like a bunch of juice, akhi.
Oh, it's camel milk. Man,
stop this camel's milk stuff. Look. Go to Google. I gotta teach you how to use Google now. Watch. Type in. Watch how. Man, watch how this works. Hold on. I'm gonna teach you something so you can get the answers faster. Type in ma'na.
In Arabic or English?
No, in Arabic. It's an Arabic word. You're gonna type it in English. Ma'na shawwaba. And then hit go. I don't know if you got iPhone. I don't know if iPhones have go. The very first thing that's going to come up is ma'ani.com. That's a dictionary that gives you all the different Arabic dictionaries and the meanings. So now, shawwaba anhu, mubalaghatan fi shab anhu, shawwaba shi'r bil har, shawwab, masdar shab. No, I'm not looking for shab.
It's 956.
قال شاب يشوب شوب شوبا فهو شاب والمفعول مشوب شاب الحليب بالماء خلطه به لا تشوبه شائبة لا عيب فيه. So yeah, to mix milk with شاب يشوب. All right, stop it, man. It's Saturday night. So he said, okay, so the third thing is what? Obeying his commands. الرابع مجاهدة النفس في دفع الشهوات التي تحول بين العبد وبين كمال الطاعة. So now the fourth thing is to, he said مجاهدة النفس, which means to what? Yeah, fight against your own self, your own nafs, your own self, and to push back those desires that come to you that you want to go and carry out, because the desires again are going to keep you now from carrying out the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger in the most complete manner. You might carry out some of them, but you can't carry out them all and you're over there disobeying Allah. So he said, مجاهدة النفس في دفع الشهوات التي تحول بينه بين العبد وبين كمال الطاعة. تحول بينه وبين الطاعة means that what? It like becomes like a high, like it blocks him and it cuts him off from it. So like here over on this side, he's trying to get to like the completion of carrying out the commands of Allah. And then here comes the desires in the middle and cuts him off. And now he can't make it now. He can't make it to that side. It cuts him. So now he can't get the completion. Wherever those desires come in, that's where he stopped. Even if he got to here, he's right there, almost there, but those desires came in and he obeyed those desires, he's cut off from the completion. You understand? So, all right, well, he said, وَهَذَانِ الْأَمْرَانِ عَنِ الشُّبَهَاتِ وَالشَّهَوَاتِ. So all of these two things, the two things that the people have to watch out for is what? Because he said the madar al-iman, iman, it goes around what? Two things. What?
Believing in what's revealed. And
Come on, you got the book now.
Oh, I'm waiting for them to respond. I know that.
Huh? Yes. All right. Now, that's it, right? Huh?
No.
No, what is the second one? Huh? وطاعة الأمر. All right, so carrying out. What did you say? Yeah, belief in what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said and carrying out the commands. Those are the two things. So the two things that block you from doing that, the shubahat and the shahawat. So the shubahat keep you from what? The tasdeeq. The shahawat keep you from carrying out the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a complete fashion. He said, وَهَذَا الْأَمْرَانِ عَنِ الشُّبُهَاتِ وَالشَّهَوَاتِ أَصْلُ فَسَادِ الْعَبْدِ. He said the shubahat and the shahawat, so the unclear matters and the desires are the foundation of what causes the corruption of the servant. That's it. Like, it's corruption. If you see any servant who becomes corrupt, it's one of these two things. Either one, he went off the path following shubahat. Oh, no, it's okay for me to work with these groups because, we're trying to spread khair and we're trying to do this and they have a big platform and we don't have a big platform. So I need to go and work with them. And then once I get my own platform, then I'll leave these groups because I know that these groups are on misguidance. What is that?
What the Jews did.
Well, it's shubahat, right? That's shubahat because he thinks that he's going to be successful by going against the commands of Allah. Well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you to stay away from these people, but now he wants to say, no, but I'm not going to be with them. I'm not supporting them. I'm not calling what they call to, but I'm just using their platform. Because they got a big masjid, they got a lot of following. So now the people can hear the sunnah, akhi. Sounds good, right? Yeah, but it sounds good, right? But it's not good. It's better for you to sit in a masjid like this, small following, but teaching the people the pure deen with no strings attached, no chains, like your hands are chained to your neck. None of this stuff. But people aren't telling you can't talk about, because what happens when you get involved with these types of groups? You go give a talk at the Islamic Center. Oh, brother, don't talk about this and don't talk about that. And they already start to tell you, yeah, we'll give you this and don't go outside of this.
this is what we're talking about.
And if you're really unchained, they ain't going to invite you to the masjid to give a talk anyways. They're only going to invite somebody that can keep within the, in a constricted, talk. That's it. But here, so that's the shubahat. And the shahawat, people, their attachment to money, their attachment to the females. A'udhu billah, some people nowadays, If nowadays, if he's attached to the females, that's a blessing. It's like, you know what I'm saying? That's a ni'mah nowadays. If he likes girls, there's nothing wrong. But he's got a girlfriend. Like, well, you know, what can you do in this day, man?
There's one particular Iman that comes to mind when you say this about joining the group. He's real popular.
Oh,
Studied overseas.
He's here.
He's here.
oh.
And he recently, not recently, but within the last few years, he joined one of those groups.
He
When
joined.
he had a high stature amongst the Salafi community and stuff like that. He joined the group, went to teach at their organization, and got called out real bad on it, and then tried to basically do what you're saying right now, justify it.
He's here in Fresno.
Not in Fresno.
Oh, in America.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. Because you're talking about Fresno. And then you said the Salafi community. I'm like, Salafi community in Fresno? No, he's talking about somebody else that studied him. Somebody that studied in Medina.
No, he said no.
Yeah, somebody that studied in Medina. No.
No man before. Who?
No, man, I can't.
He taught here.
No, he didn't.
No, because we had to be more specific.
He's not the only one, though. There's quite a few brothers that came back from the universities in Saudi with this understanding. One brother, even in Jacksonville, was up on a panel with Jews and Christians doing this interfaith dialogue after he graduated from Medina. You know, and then change, you know, and then these are our brothers, and you know, and all this type of stuff. You know, no.
There's not people right here that have done Islam in Focus on one of these lower TV channels and had this interfaith broadcast on every, you know, when all the big churches on their own Sunday, amongst all the big churches, and just gone.
Yeah. And once you go that path, akhi, it's very rare that the person comes back, because when you start to advise them and you start to say, yeah, akhi, you know, this is haram. You know, mixing with these people. But no, brother, you know, because he wants to justify it. So as he justifies it, what does that cause you to do?
He loses Iman.
Well, it causes you in your advice to start to get a little bit harsher with him. He's like, come on, akhi, stop being stupid. You know that this isn't right. This isn't what the ulama taught us. You're going to see Sheikh Uthaymeen running around with these, you know, all these different people that are holding hands with these gay pride people and witches and all this stuff. And now you're going to be working with these types of people on their platform? No. You're not going to see the ulama doing this. Wake up, akhi. You know, stop trying to justify this stuff and start seeing the matter for what it is. But that's what he's talking about. Those are the shubahat. And those shubahat, they blocks whatever knowledge that he had. He's not benefiting from it. He's not going to benefit from the knowledge because he's twisting it now. And that's what the Jews used to do. The Jews used to get the knowledge and what? Hey, they twist it. They do tahrif and they try to manipulate it to fit their situation. Yaqi, this deen is not for your situation because you want to work with these individuals. You cannot manipulate the deen to fit what you're doing. And you know, if you read in any of the books of the Salaf, you go and read through Sharia al-Ajuri, you go read through al-Ibanat al-Kubra, Ibn Battah, you go and you read through all the different books of Sunnah, you know, you're not going to see that this is what it was the path of the Salaf. I'm going to go speak in a Sufi masjid or with the Sufis because they have a platform and I'm going to call to the Sunnah so they can hear the Sunnah. Yeah, that's not the way things are done. You know, you're not going to go up on their platform like that and sit there and try to use this because they're using you. You're the prostitute, not them. They're using you to validate them. And then that's what they do. Now, you come from Medina, and then who are you validating? You're validating what they're upon. Now the people say, well, it must not be that bad because Fulan is working with him. He's over there working with him, so it must be all right. Now you see, all because of that shubha. It started with that shubha in that person's heart while he was getting knowledge. So now all of this is all in books of, you know, if you go back to all the books of Aqidah, like I mentioned, like Sharia, Al-Ibana, and Lalakai's, you know, what's the Surah I'tiqad Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. All of these books, akhi, you see that this is the way that the Salaf handled these issues dealing with these groups and these individuals. But what blocked that person from benefiting from that knowledge? And what is he saying here? What blocked him?
Shower.
the shubahat. He's twisting it in his heart so he doesn't see it. It doesn't enter into his heart.
Desire to be the biggest known figure on the face of the earth today.
Yeah.
So,
And that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to spread the truth. I don't care. Look at Sheikh Najmi, rahimahullah. Sheikh Najmi, Jabal of knowledge in our time. Sheikh Najmi, how many students did he have? Sheikh Najmi, Allah yarhamu. Most of you guys probably don't know who he is because he died a long, long time ago. I think he died about the year that you guys were supposed to be born. So like around 2009. 2008, 2009, check it on there. Ahmed al-Najmi, Sheikh Ahmed al-Najmi. So I think 2009 maybe. 2008, 2009, one of those two. So look at him, 12 students, but every single one of his students was like a sheikh. Everyone was well-grounded, and then he could send any one of those students off somewhere, and they could go teach.
Wasn't he the one when Sheikh he accidentally made a mistake just because he literally didn't even realize what he wrote in his book in Aqidah, and then Sheikh Ahmed al-Najmi called him out on it.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Because Salih al-Husayni, he narrated the story. He said that like Ibn Uthaymeen, he was writing a book and he accidentally put in something that's against the Aqidah of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and Ahmed al-Najmi said, doesn't matter who he is, even if he's Ibn Uthaymeen, I'm still going to call him out on it.
I don't doubt it, because that's how he was. No joke. I mean, he followed the Sunnah. He came to Damascus after Sheikh Mufrad died. That's the only time that we got to sit with him. We got to sit with him because he came and spoke in Damascus. Subhanallah. Just sitting with him for that small period of time, I'm like, this man ain't no joke. this guy ain't no joke. I wanted to cross the mountains because he's in Samita. Samita is in Jazan, which if you go up through Sa'da, through Hudaydah, and then Hudaydah right there on the border, once you cross the border into Sardiya, that's Jazan. And then his area, like where he used to teach, is like right there across from the border. I was like, man, I'm just gonna cross the border, go study with Sheikh Najmi, man. It was no joke, man. It was no joke, just for that little small period of time. What was I bringing him up for?
You just mentioned it.
Nah, whatever the case. What year did he die though?
I think according to Google, 2008.
2008, yeah. Close enough. I said 2008 or 2009, right? So there you go. All right. So he said, وهذا الأمران يعني الشبهات والشهوات أصل فساد العبد وشقائه في معاشه ومعاده. So he said that, the shubahat and the shahawat, they're the foundation of the corruption of the servant. Was shaqaihi. Shaqaihi means what? Well, it's like, you're happy. The sa'id is the person who what? He follows the sunnah and Allah gives him the correct guidance, and inshallah his masir is ila jannah. That's the sa'ada. And that's why this book is called what? Miftahu Dar as-Sa'ada. Dari as-Sa'ada. So it's the key to the door of happiness. Because that's happiness. Shaqawa is the opposite of Sa'ada. So obviously now, if you're not given the tawfiq to follow this deen, you're not given the tawfiq to act correctly and have tawheed, follow the sunnah, obey the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then this is what? Shaqawa. And this person is shaqi. So if he dies on this, he's from the people of the hellfire, from the inhabitants of the hellfire. This is the ultimate shaqawa. And that's why he said, Asl fasad al-abdi wa shaqaihi. So all his depression and unhappiness and his, the opposite that he's going to have of sa'ada, fi ma'ashihi. And his life, the life that he's living in this world, he's going to live like this. An unhappy, despicable existence. Wa ma'adihi. And his return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be an unhappy and despicable return. Because he knows what he's going to. He's living it in this life. He's not carrying out the obedience. He's not doing what he's supposed to do, even though he knows that in his heart, he knows this stuff is wrong. Just like these people that ask the questions all the time. A lot of the people, they ask these questions and they know the answer. You know the answer. What are you waiting for me to tell you that this is haram or this is that you shouldn't be doing this? You know the answer. And most of the people, they know it, but that's the whole thing. Does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you the tawfiq to follow that, to accept that guidance and to carry out those commands without, and that strength to block your desires? Because you can't do this on your own. You think that you're just going to set up some type of fortress and you're going to block the desires from coming in. No. And that's only if Allah protects you. And what's the hadith? What's the dalil for that? Hadith Abdullah ibn Abbas. Just talk about it all the time. Ya ghulam. Huh?
I love them actually.
No. Ya ghulam. Inni u'allimuka kalimat. What?
I know. I love it.
احفظ الله يحفظك. That if you protect the boundaries that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set for you, you don't exceed those boundaries, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect you. And He'll keep the shayateen away, the jinn and the ins and all this, and He'll protect you.
You said last time, that's not what it meant. Last time you said, ihfadallah means like if you obey the commandments of Allah, Allah will take care of you in that, and then ihfadallah tajid is that.
No, He'll yahfadak. He'll keep that away from you, protect you, so you could carry out and practice your deen correctly. Because the more you carry out the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives you that protection so you can continue to do that, because that's what you're trying to do. But if you have no concern with carrying out the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you want to follow your desires, then what? Allah's going to leave you to that what you want. That's what you love. You know, then khalas. Because one of the main things about La ilaha illallah, one of the conditions that the people don't understand is the condition of al-muhabba. You know, what do you truly love? Do you truly love Allah and His Messenger? Or do you love those desires? Or do you love what's going on, these kuffar are doing? Or do you love what's going on out there? Or do you love what's going on in here? What is it that you love? So what you love is what you're going to be putting the effort towards, right? So if you're taking this effort to go out and disobey Allah, where you have to really put in an effort to do it. You're going out and looking for a girl, looking for drugs, and looking for this. You're putting an effort to disobey Allah, but you're not putting in even a small portion of that same effort to obey Allah. Have you fulfilled the conditions of La ilaha illallah? Now we say, is this a person a Muslim? Yes, he's a Muslim on the Zahir. But as he fulfilled those conditions, is he now going to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala having fulfilled those conditions? Oh, because he loves his desires more. That's what he places importance on. That's what he goes out and searches for every day. That's what he spends money for. He's not spending money to buy books to learn his deen. You know, he's spending his money on what? Things that he can use to waste his time or disobey Allah. That's where his love is. Because that's where his ijtihad is. That's where his hard work. You always look at a person and what he loves by what? What he works hard at. You know, if you say, oh, I love to exercise, but you never exercise, we're going to say what? You're a liar. I love Allah and His Messenger, but you never do anything to study the deen. You don't want to learn the Arabic language. You don't want to, you know, you're not up in here trying to, you know, study the religion, practice the religion, carry out the commands of Allah. Then we say what? Yeah, it's a liar.
I remember someone after President, he was like saying, he was quoting the ayah, هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق. And then behind closed doors, he tells me, you know, you sometimes you're going to have to compromise your religion. I'm like, you're telling the people, oh, and now you're telling me I have to compromise my religion, which is just me and you.
You never have to compromise your religion. There's the only time that you have to compromise your religion is if you're mukrah. Somebody's putting a gun to your head and says, I'm going to kill you. If you don't, that's the only time where it's permissible for you to do it. إِلَّا مَنْ أُكْرِهَا.
I hate it.
Yeah, but your heart is full of Iman.
But you don't have to.
No, I'm saying you don't have to, but this is the time when it's permissible.
Yeah.
So this is the time when you know, where Allah is giving you the rukhsa in this issue, because, okay, you're thinking about like, okay, he's going to kill me, my family was going to, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so you just say, whatever, khalas, you know, and then you say whatever they want you to say, but in your heart, you know, that you don't have that belief. Your heart is full of Iman. But that doesn't mean that you have to do that, obviously, you know, but that's the time. But other than that, like you live, and this is what we, you know, we talked about this before. I spoke to these, you know, when I was giving a khutbah one time in Jacksonville, and I was telling the people, I was like, you came to America for what? Because of the freedom. So why are you scared to practice your religion if you came here for freedom? You left a country that persecuted you because of what? All right, if you left because you were persecuted from your deen, yeah, that's what you say. But reality is, you come over here, you wanted to be like these kuffar. You wanted to marry Becky, and you want, and this is what they end up, and this is why you can go to any of these markets, and you see one of these, like an immigrant guy, like I've always seen this in Jacksonville, it's like a guy who just came from like Palestine or Jordan, and he's got this big fat white woman as a wife, because this, with buck teeth and everything, calf, she's like this big, Jabba the Hutt, wears short shorts, and trying to get that blue passport.
They stopped marrying them now, and now they just trick with the little young girls that come to the store. Stuff like that.
No, I'm talking about they used to do this to get the passport. Marry her.
You do, then after they get the passport, then they can leave it at home and play around with everything else.
Yeah, but they came to this country because of what? Persecution. Tell you, now if you're in a country that you deem as free, why don't you wear a thobe? Why are you scared to pray at work? Because you see, if you ever get a job and you're working with the Pakistanis will pray. I give the credit to the Pakistanis. The Pakistanis will get out the car, Allahu Akbar, and pray on the freeway. But you see, you pray with the Palestinians. You pray with a lot of Yemenis. Sorry, but it's reality. Jordanians and Egyptians, and they'll go to work. I can't pray, because we gotta. I'll pray when I get home. It's like, dude, you're gonna be at work for eight hours. You're gonna miss like 3 salawat, and 2 of them you can't. Like one of them's maghrib, one of them's asr. If he's working at night, you're missing all these prayers. You're going to pray them at home when you get home? Come on, man, seriously. But you came here for freedom. You came here because you were persecuted. So why are you scared now? Practice your religion. Again, it's that shubahat, that shahawat.
In a place where the law protects you and give you the right to pray on your job.
Akhi, when I was
without no penalty.
I'm going to tell you, when I was 16 years old, 1994. So this is before all this stuff happened that you see. So when I'm telling you the story, you'll know the time frame. You know what we had to do in school? Every single morning, what do we have to do? Stand up and give the Pledge of Allegiance. So everybody stands up, and I'm just sitting down. And the teacher looks at me, and she says, stand up. I said, I'm a Muslim. I don't stand up for no flag. So I don't give Pledge of Allegiance to a flag. I'll give that to my Creator. She's like, she's huffing and puffing, right? That's day 1. Day 2, Pledge of Allegiance. She looks at me, Mr. Sutton, stand up. I ain't standing up. Not Pledge of Allegiance to, if you don't stand up, stand up. I said, I'm not standing up. No. Day 3. She huffing and puffing. She sits down. Day 3, she's like, you better stand up. I said, I am not standing up. I'm not pledging my allegiance to that flag. You want to kick me out of this classroom? Kick me out of the classroom. But then I'm going to go to them and tell them I told her that I'm a Muslim and it's not permissible for me to stand up for this flag. And you kicked me out because you're persecuting me for my religion. Wallahi, akhi, the rest of the year, she never said a word. She never said a word. She would just look at me. And that's it. But she would never even tell me to stand up ever again. So imagine that. And then at the same time period, 16 years old, me and my mother's fiance, we go to a Pacers and Mavericks game. What do they do to start the game? Now keep in mind, this isn't Jacksonville, Florida. This is a preseason game. It's all rednecks. We have rednecks all in the back. On top of that, my mother's fiance is black. So I'm a white kid with like a black father figure and all of these rednecks behind us. Guess what? They said, everybody stand for the national anthem. 16 years old. Man, he looks at me like, stand up. Stand up. I'm like, man, shut up. I'm like, you stand up because you love these devils. That's what I was telling her. I was like, you keep standing. These rednecks will love you. I ain't standing up. And then you can hear them behind us. I can't say what they were saying because obviously, the rednecks, like every sentence starts off with the GD, Yeah, but what? What are they gonna do? What did they do? In the end, nothing. They sat down, and then the game started. They forgot I ever even sat down. So that's your freedom.
First ball gets thrown out there.
Yeah, they forgot all about it, akhi. So there you go. What's the problem? You can't practice your religion now. So everything is there. This is supposed to be a free country, so they say. And if this is the purpose of why you came, then you should feel free to practice your deen and call to the deen and learn your deen and wear the clothes. I mean, because if you imagine if all these immigrants came and we all dressed in thobes and we all said we need a prayer area in every single job, man, all of these companies would start having what? Prayer areas. And you see people in the supermarket wearing thobes, you know, because you could do that in this country, but they're too much of a cowards, akhi. They come over here and then what do? They say, oh no, we don't want to do this because, and then we can't do anything because the American Muslims, we're so small in number. And most of us, we don't work in these types of jobs anyways. Most of the American Muslims are hustlers, akhi. So, you know, like you wear a thobe, right, Majay? When you drive the trucks, they don't care what you wear, right? Oh, you got to, because you're dealing with the gas and the petrol and stuff like that. So they got to, that's a different situation, you know. Yeah, but I mean, you see all these other jobs where you can just go in.
I wanted to work with a thobe at the restaurant. I got a lot of stairs though, but I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, when I was working in Los Angeles before I left for Yemen, they said, and Friday, you can wear whatever you want, and it's Friday. So I'm like, you know, and I told them, I said, Friday I have to leave early because it's Jumu'ah. So I used to go to work in a thobe. I used to take the bath after Fajr, go straight to work in the thobe. What? No way. People used to come up to me and say, oh, wow, that's nice clothing. This is back in the 2000s, you know, before Muslims were here. Huh?
They call it costume.
Yeah, well, one girl thought I was a Jew. She's like, oh, that's a nice Jewish outfit. And I'm like, you better take that back right now. You know, it's like, you just insulted me on a Friday, you know? And so, all right, we don't have that's it.
Save the question.
We got to continue this tomorrow, inshallah.
You know, the big places, Amazon and all the big places, they all have prayer rooms and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All those places.
Even out here, I went into Walmart. I went in Walmart in Jacksonville because there's so many Muslim women, but it's the Muslim women. What's funny is the Muslim women come here, they wear hijab. They dress, and you can see that with the man, he doesn't want to show any Islam on him, but he'll make his woman go out like this. So the Muslim women, they got the prayer areas in Walmart. They got it where they were allowed to wear the hijab. It's the women, not the men. This is, akhi, is sad, akhi. Wallah, it's sad. We'll take like one or two questions just because I don't know what's going on in the...
If my family is celebrating a birthday in the house, should I go somewhere like the community center for the day, or can I stay home and just be away from the celebration with my cousin?
Stay in your room.
Second question. Is it? That was it?
I mean, if it's better to leave the house, but I mean, if they're going to be like, all right, let's look at it from different aspects. If they're going to be having music and a lot of loud noise and stuff like that, it's better to leave, obviously. But if it's just like they're just getting together and, you know, yeah, go to the masjid or something. Maybe that's what he means. I don't know.
Library, whatever.
Go somewhere beneficial. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.
Assalamu alaikum. What is your advice in specific?
What's specific?
Oh, specific.
See, even Saif's laughing at you now.
Is it?
I'm telling you, people are writing specific in the words, in the comments, just to mess him up.
For those who can finally understand lectures of the ulama and want to try translating.
What's the advice for what?
For someone who can, like, he understands lectures of the ulama and he wants to translate them.
Did he study the religion or no?
That's the question.
I advise the people to study the deen first, because you don't know if you're translating it right. Because a lot of the things, especially when the ulama are using like a lot of different mustalahat and like, you know, usul al-fiqh and things like that, if you don't understand that, how are you going to translate it? That's like, you're going to end up making a lot of mistakes. So, I mean, if you're well grounded in the sciences of the religion to where you understand exactly what that sheikh is saying and you can translate it, then alhamdulillah, benefit the people. Otherwise, no. That's the only questions. Or you just want to go home.
I have a lot of
All right. All right. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Y'all want to continue this tomorrow or no? It didn't even start to get deep yet, man. I always get warmed up. You want to continue this tomorrow or no?
Tomorrow, yeah. Tomorrow.
Do an Adab al-Mufrad, or we'll just, because it's like three pages, 4 pages.
I'll do it.